Very nice. Very nice.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I wanted to bring you guys a deck profile that I've been having a lot of fun with. It does a great job at slowing the game state down and make your opponent think twice about certain plays. And it's very versatile when it comes to deck building. But without talking too much, this is my REGENESIS KASHTIRA deck profile. Let's get into it. First up on the list, playing Triple Archfiend. This card is broken. It's very easy to summon. All you have to do is reveal a monster with 2500 attack or defense. When he special summon, he allows you to add a REGENESIS card from deck to hand. And then his last effect is if he's in the graveyard, because he was sent there on your opponent's turn, he comes back to hand during the end phase. So this card is really good. Paired with KASHTIRA Unicorn, it's amazing. It gets a lot of our plays going and it makes the deck consistent. So we definitely want to run 3 of him. He's like busted. Best REGENESIS monster. This card and this archetype plays so well with cards that pitch for cost. During your opponent's turn, you can activate cards that pitch for cost, get their powerful effects off, and then at the end phase, you know what I'm saying, you get those same resources back. So in terms of resource recursion, this deck is amazing at it, and I love it for that fact, you know what I mean? And it's a very anti-meta-ish deck. Next up on the list, I'm rocking out with the 1 Sage. I do sometime want to bump this card up to 2. This is our Omni Negate. This monster is an inherit summon, and it can be special summoned from your hand if there's a monster on the field with 2500 attack or defense, original attack. Typically, when you summon Archfiend, you'll be grabbing your Sage, and then when you grab your Sage, you just want to summon it right away, just to set up your Omni Negate for other plays. Sage also comes back to your hand at the end phase of your opponent's turn if it was sent there during their turn. So you can do some really cool plays with Sage after you use this effect. You would summon the Archfiend, get the Sage, summon the Sage, and then on their turn, if they activate something, you tribute the Archfiend, so you know that's coming back. If you have another card that sends this for cost, you know what I'm saying, this is going to come back to your hand as well, so you can redo your plays all over again. Next up is your main deck boss monster in the form of REGENESIS Lord. REGENESIS Lord can be special summoned from your hand by banishing a monster face up that you control with 2500 attack and defense, original. Pretty easy to summon, being that all your REGENESIS monsters have 2500 attack and defense. Once you special summon, you can set a REGENESIS spell or trap from your deck to the field. So this card is really good for setting up your trap. Some of your spells, you can activate them the same turn, except the quick play, but you know, pretty broken card. We only need to run him at 1, and then during the battle phase, he pumps up to 5k and he does piercing. So this card is really good for getting over like other towers, and it's just crazy that we have a built-in boss monster that has 5000 attack. So if you could put him on board and then 2 more bodies, like it's just like instant game. So GG's. Lastly, for the REGENESIS monsters, we're running the 1 Warrior and then the 1 Dragon. I actually really love these cards. Sometimes I do want to bump them up. More so Warrior than Dragon, because Warrior is just like your bounce. You know, whenever I see these cards in my hand, I'm never mad. More of a purish build, I probably would bump these up, but for right now, we're rocking with the 1/1. REGENESIS Warrior is your bounce, and then this card banishes a spell or trap. It doesn't negate, but it banishes. If they're sent to the grave during your opponent's turn, they come back during the end phase to your hand. So, but these cards are too good. I'm definitely considering upping them at some point. But for right now, we're rocking the 1/1. But that's about it for the REGENESIS monsters. These are typically the ratios that you'll see in a lot of people's deck lists. It's a really simple engine, but it's really strong, and when you pair it with KASHTIRA, it's amazing. Next up on the list, Triple KASHTIRA Unicorn. Gotta run this card next to the REGENESIS monsters. This card is basically a god card at this point. Playing the KASHTIRA engine alongside the REGENESIS engine just gives you so much consistency. Being able to search this out with Planet, and then also being able to get you to your birth. This card is amazing. I have no complaints about it, and it really puts in a lot of work when it comes to ripping extra deck. Sometimes your opponent will hold hand traps because they don't want to get the extra deck ripped, and it does a really good job of just putting pressure on the board. So we love to see it. Next up on the list, I'm only running 2 Fenrir. Fenrir is not as important as KASHTIRA Unicorn, but nonetheless, it does search out our KASHTIRA Unicorn. So at any point in time, we can get a monster with 2500 off of another body. You know, that's why we run 2. Personally, I like 2 in ratio, but if you feel you need to bump it up, by all means, do your thing. Next up on the list for hand traps, I'm running triple Droll. Droll is a god card right now, so you have to run him at 3. I don't feel like I need to say too much more about Droll. It's just a very powerful card right now. Next up on the list, I'm running triple Fualos. It's Fualos. I mean, got to play this card as well if you can. On top of the 3 Fualos, I'm also main decking 2 Perugia. Perugia is also very good right now because these days you will be playing a lot of REGENESIS mirrors or just like a lot of Raizio Mitsurugi and stuff like that. So they summon from the hand a lot. So, you know what I mean? Like, got to run this card. Very nice. Next up on the list, we're rocking with 2 Ash. I'm not really too worried about what my opponent is adding these days. I'd rather use Droll anyway. So, you know, that's my reasoning behind running 2 of these things. Lastly on the list, I'm running 2 Nibiru for hand traps. I feel like Nibiru is great in this list because being that your REGENESIS monsters will leave the board on your opponent's turn, that means they'll be coming back during the end phase. You know what I'm saying? So not only did you clear the board and you got a big beat stick, but you also got your resources back. So that's why I like rocking Nib in this list. I might end up actually bumping them to 3 because it's not a problem when you see them. 2 is good. I'm tripping. Just run 2. 2 is good. But that's about it for the monsters. Let's go ahead and get into the spells. First up on the list for spells, Gotta run triple Regenesis. It's the namesake of the deck, and this card is your searcher. You know what I mean? It gets you to all of your Regenesis cards, and not only can you activate it to either make it a Foolish Burial, but you could also banish it to make it a Monster Reborn for your Regenesis monsters. So it's a really good card, and we don't always need to use it for a search effect. Sometimes you might want to use this dump effect. Sometimes you might just want to pitch it for cost and then just use it as a Monster Reborn. You know what I mean? So this card is very versatile, and that's why I run it at 3. Whenever I use this card, I feel like it's so free. And then just like next turn is also very free. So, you know, we got to max out on this. Very nice. Next up on the list, got to play this super broken card, REGENESIS Code. This is the main reason why we don't worry about the extra deck too much. Once you activate this card, you can't go into your extra deck until the end of the next turn. So if you activate it on your turn, you can't go into your extra deck until your turn comes around again, which is okay, but it just depends on where you use it. Nonetheless, it's still a great card. If you want to max out at 3, brings out your REGENESIS bodies very easy. And a lot of the times you could just bring out what you need for that moment. You could bring out your bounce, you can bring out your spell and trap vanish, or you could bring out another Archfiend, you could bring out a Sage. You can do whatever you want with this card. For that reason, that's why I kind of want to bump up to 2 Sage, because sometimes it's just good to bring out a Sage like mid combo of your opponent, and then you contribute like Regenesis to spell, and then like use that as a Monster Reborn next turn. I don't know. There's like a lot of cool plays that you can do, but I love this card. The last effect of this card that's really good is that you can banish it, especially summon one of your Regenesis monsters. So your resources are never really gone. You can always get back into your engine and just like your monsters that you need like mid to late game. So the grind game is really good with these cards. Next up on the list, I am running 2 droplets. The reason why I decided to run 2 droplets is just sometimes it's hard to break boards. Being that we're playing cards like REGENESIS Code, we can just go activate the code and then activate droplet behind it, send the code, and then we can send one of our REGENESIS monsters, you know what I mean, to just like break the board and then also get our resources back at the end of the turn. So being that we get our resources back, I feel like, why wouldn't you be playing droplet? You know what I'm saying? Next up on the list, we're running Triple Planet. Card is too good, gets us into our Kashtira engine whenever we need it. Even if you already have a unicorn in hand, it's just always good to know that you can get another one. And then being that we run droplet, we can send this for fodder. So, you know what I mean? Like, why not? Next up on the list, we are running the 1 Birth and then 1 Theosis. Got to run these cards with the Kashtira engine. It's just too easy, too free. Not much more to say on these cards. You guys know what they do already. Lastly on the list, I'm playing 1 Prosperity, and then I'm playing 1 Call By. Super simple, don't want to get hit by Droll, and then this allows us to dig for resources or pieces that we need. So for the trap lineup, very easy, very simple. Rocking out with triple Imperm, and then I'm rocking out with 1 Regenesis Birth. Not only is this card a Book of Moon, but you can send it face up from your side of the field during your opponent's turn, and it'll special summon as many Regenesis monsters as possible from your hand, graveyard, or banishment. If that's not broken, I don't know what is, but we only need to run this card at 1. But Regenesis Birth is pretty amazing, not gonna lie, and it's a common. But that's about it for the main deck. Let's go ahead and get into the extra deck. Before we go ahead and get into the extra deck, you know, we got to showcase that very nice token. For those of you that don't know, whenever we showcase the very nice token, just comment below and say very nice as a thank you for creating the content. Appreciate y'all. Very nice. First up on the list for the extra deck, we're running this broken card, 1 Duration, the Thunder God. He's a level 11. Sometimes you will get a level 8 on board, and then you'll have like a Ash in hand. So you can just normal summon the Ash if you ever draw 2 at the same time, and then go into your Duration. Or you could just do it as a time play. He has a couple effects. One of them is when your opponent activates a card, you gain 300 life points on resolution. Another effect is you can pay 1500 life points, tribute him, and then he gains one of the 2 effects. He can either destroy all your opponent's monsters or all your opponent's spell and traps. So he's a really good card, and he's a 3100 body, level 11. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just need that extra body. Next up on the list, I'm playing 1 Chen Yang. Sometimes you can line up some plays with Regenesis Lord or the Regenesis spell card. You know what I mean? Just being able to banish a card whenever you need it. And, you know, just do some extra plays with Chen Yang is just too good. So definitely had to run this level 10. Next up on the list for links, we're playing 1 Access Code Talker, 1 Nightmare Unicorn, 1 IP Masquerena, 1 SP Little Knight, and then we're playing the 1 Link Spider because we do run the 1 Draco Sack. So this is all I feel like I needed. We have a lot of utility here. We can do a lot of different things whenever we need to. Whenever we don't activate Regenesis Code, we can always get access to all of these cards. So why not? Next up on the list for Exceeds, we're running 1 Typhon and 1 Zeus. Then we're running 1 Dark Flare Meadow, 1 Big Eye, 1 Draco Sack, and 1 Dark Arm, very standard. And then we're running 1 Shangri-Ira, 1 Dingarisu because sometimes you get 2 level 8s on board. So, yes sir. That's about it for the extra deck. It's not that important, but it gives us a lot of utility plays, and this is what I'm currently running right now. But let's go ahead and get into the side deck. Like I always say for the side deck is always subject to change as the format changes, so take everything with a grain of salt. First up, we got Triple Lancia. You guys know what that does. You know why we run that. No need to talk about that. Next up, we got 1 Thrust. Next to the Thrust, I'm running 1 Dark Ruler, 1 Talents, 1 Harvey's Feather Duster, and 2 Lightning Storm. I think this is a nice little package to run. Gives me access to everything I need. And then one other card I'm also thinking about running is 1 Gordian Slicer. The reason why I've been considering this card and adding it to the thrust package is just not only is it searchable, but it can't be negated, and it forces your opponent to respond if they are going to respond. So I think Gordian Slicer has a bright future in seeing play in like anti-meta decks and stuff like that. So I've been really thinking about giving this card a shot, and actually I'm thinking about taking out 1 Lightning Storm and putting in a Gordian Slicer, which I think I'm going to do. So consider 1 Lightning Storm gone, and then now we're rocking a Gordian Slicer. So to recap, we're running 1 Gordian Slicer, 1 Lightning Storm, 1 Harvey's Feather Duster, 1 Talent, 1 Dark Ruler, and then 1 Thrust. And this is now our Thrust package. And I actually like this a lot better because it just gives us a lot of utility. You know what I mean? Whether you see this at any point in time going second, it's always going to feel good. So why not? Next up on the list for traps, I'm running 1 Tikaboo, 1 Barrier, and 1 Evenly Matched. And then I'm running 1 Dragon's Mind. This card is broken, but I only feel like you need to run it going second. And then I'm running 2 Solemn Judgment. Originally, I was running 3 Solemn Judgment, but I just felt like trying out running 2 of these and then 1 of these was really good. This is acting as a third. Each card has their case scenario, but they're both good. Dragon's Mind is just very broken. It just sucks that it's a common, but amazing nonetheless, you know what I mean? But that's about it for the main deck, extra deck, and side deck. I feel like this deck has a very bright future, and the more and more time that progresses, more cards will come out that support the deck. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Real quick, I want to do a quick test hand to show you guys what the deck draws and plays like. Let's see what we get. All right, so let's round out the video with a quick test hand and see how the deck draws. When you're shuffling your deck, you don't got to be all violent with your cards. Just, you know what I'm saying, relax. I'm going to power shuffle real quick. All right, let's see what we get. So our hand is Drolan Lockbird, Infinite Impermanence, REGENESIS Sage, REGENESIS, and a Droplet. So with this hand, what would you guys do? Here's what I would do. Activate REGENESIS. Our opponent doesn't have Ash or Droll because we have Plot Armor, and they suck, so. Next, activate Archfiend, Reveal, Special, and Defense effect to add a REGENESIS card. We're going to add the Lord because we already have the Sage. Next thing I'll do is special the Sage in defense mode, banish the Archfiend to special summon the Lord in defense mode, and then activate Lord's effect to set right here. We're going to set the Birth. Next, I'll set the Imperm. I'll set the Droplet, and then we have a Droll in hand. So we got Droll, Imperm, REGENESIS Birth, Droplet, Sage for the Omni, and then we got this guy for, like, you know, just beat sticking. But REGENESIS Lord is just a body. He's just going to be there for Sage to tribute. So with this board, we have a couple interruptions. We have the Sage. We contribute this to Omni Negate. And after we use the Sage, we can go Droplet to send the Sage, and then it'll come back at the end phase. We have the Birth to send something, and then it'll come back. So more than likely, we'll probably end up getting another Archfiend, and then on our turn, just banish the REGENESIS to special back the Archfiend. We have Droll, just in case, you know, when we pass, they want to add and all that other stuff. And then we have Imperm. So this is a pretty good board. There's multiple layers of interruption. Based on how you sequence things, you can stun your opponent for a turn. If Lord survives next turn, you have a 5k beater that you can just smack your opponent with that does piercing. So, I mean, not too bad of a board. We're going to do one more. That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad. Let's see. All right, so our hand is REGENESIS Dragon, REGENESIS Sage, Fualos, Perulia, and then Imperm. Honestly, with this kind of hand, we would just pass. You know what I'm saying? No need to do too much. We would just like let these just feed us, and then next turn we would do what we need to do. So we're gonna shuffle up one more time. All right, so our hand is Kashtira Unicorn, Nibiru, Archfiend, and then Lord. So this is not bad at all, because even if we summon Unicorn, we still have another monster in hand to reveal. Drawing 2 nibs is kind of annoying, which is crazy because I only play 2. But all right, so right here, what we do first is summon Unicorn, and then we can activate Unicorn. They don't have Imperm or Droll because they suck. With the birth. Right here, you activate Archfiend, revealing the Lord. Special. New chain, Archfiend effect. And I'm just going to go straight for the Sage. But you can, you know what I mean, grab other cards if you need. I always just like beeline into this card personally. So, yeah. Next, right here, we're going to special summon the Sage. From here, we're going to go ahead and banish Archfiend. Special summon Lord. Activate Lord. Set birth. And then from here, we have a couple options. What we can do is we can go here. For IP, activate birth, special back to Unicorn. All right, so this will be our end board. So the first thing we would want to do to respond to them is go birth, and then we would want to send like another Archfiend, right? Because it's going to come back to us at the end phase, right? So we already use our birth. The next thing that we're going to do is when our opponent does something, we're going to go Sage and we're going to send the birth. And then from there, you want to go IP with the Sage to bring out your SP and banish whatever other problem you're having. And the reason why you want to do that is because the Sage will come back at the end phase the same way the Archfiend that you just sent will come back at the end phase. You know what I mean? And don't forget that you still have 2 Nibirus if they continue to keep going on and on and on. You know what I mean? You're just trading blows, and then of course you can Unicorn Rip, and then you have the birth still on field. So if they, you know what I mean, activate a spell, you can banish cards in their grave. This is just a very basic, simple board that you can do. This works because these cards keep coming back to, well, not this, but these 2 cards keep coming back to your hand. So you can keep doing like, cool little plays with them. But that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This has been a very simple test hand segment. Nothing crazy, no big wombo combos. You know what I mean? This deck really just like simplifies things for you. And if you sequence things right, you can do a lot of damage with it. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.